Hey everybody, welcome to PDQ Live. We have a bit more full table than normal, but it's all the same stuff, PDQ and A.
Yeah, I was here at the pre-show. I was just getting ready to leave, and Hanks was back there going, no, stay. Do you guys want me to stay back there? Because I was going to go back over here and start laughing at Jordan off camera again.
We would love to have you here, Shane.
Yeah, we'd love to have you stay, man.
It's a gift for the viewers.
You know what would be great on camera? If one of you buttheads had a drink with me.
They don't like Red Bull.
I'll drink with you.
So
there we go.
Someone present.
Water again.
Someone go grab that Lagavulin for me.
Oh, there's stuff here? Oh, wow.
We've got like 29 minutes.
We're live. It's like
We have
a
alcohol
bar.
just sitting
How many
around.
questions do we
I'm
have?
not used to this.
Oh, you know what? We have a few.
Hook me up. What do we got?
You want to have sake.
We'll be okay.
Oh, sake. Let me
No,
have
Hadazaki. It's still a
Shall we begin?
Nice, too.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
fun. Let's start, Jordan.
Okay, so a couple things real quick, just so everyone knows. We have massive company meetings today, and our final one is right at 10:30 our time. So we kind of have a hard out today. If we don't get to your question this week, we'll either carry it over to the next PDQ&A or, cry. I guess. I don't know.
But that doesn't. If we cry every single week,
This is true.
most defeated group of people you'll ever see.
It could be a therapeutic show, though.
I like that.
It's not a dichotomy.
Yeah, we're not here to enlighten. We're just here for cathartic reasons for ourselves.
And for the drinking,
Trying
obviously.
to deal with a lot of things in our past.
So this may be like a 30-minute speed round. I don't know.
All right.
But Shane's here, so probably not.
See what we got.
I'll shut up and drink.
Oh, finally. 7
All
years
right.
I've been waiting.
Let's dive in. Hey, party people, is there a better explanation of the all, any, not all, not any, blah, blah, blah logic out there for creating inventory searches? We seem to always run into filters that do not pull what we are after exactly. Curtis D.
I'm so glad Shane's here.
And Shane, what's the answer?
Okay, the all, any, not any. Yeah, that. Unfortunately, we're sorry. That can be a little unintuitive. Unfortunately, wow. The best thing I could suggest. So you're talking kind of vaguely, but obviously there's some specific things that have happened. I would ask you to submit the report. Just export it and submit that to support. And you can put down and say, "Hey, I was told on the webcast to ask this." So jump on it. But I would very much like to look to see, chances are once we look at that, we'll be able to see where the error was. And then we can bring it up on the next webcast and use it as a learning moment. But right now I'll just be talking in generalities because I don't know exactly what your report looked like.
Yeah, definitely recommend reaching out to support. We also have a good KB on advanced filtering. I don't remember the exact name, but there's a good article on it. But if you send it to us, we're more than happy to help. It's definitely a little confusing at first, but once it clicks, it's really powerful. So,
Yes.
Cool. Now we'll start the speed round.
Good start. No, that was actually wonderful. Wonderful. All right, next question. What is the recommended least privileged configuration for the deploy user account? Example, not domain admins. Sincerely, Gabe.
I thought most people were using laps anyway.
Laps. I believe I was following the chat with that one. They said they use a lot of poll configuration where Laps isn't working for them.
Okay. So they're saying for the deploy user account, they don't want to use domain admins.
Which is a completely fair stance to take.
Certainly, but you are looking at the fact that you still ultimately have to have administrative rights, not only on the console machine, but also on any target machine. So whatever you choose to do, there needs to be administrative rights kind of all the way around. That's why domain admins is often used. Not going to tell you that you have to use it, but I'm going to tell you that you have to have administrative rights on all of the computers in question.
Yeah, you have to be able to hit some secure shares as well as the ability to install. There's a lot that's required for it to.
Yeah, if you look at the credentials area, there was a company out in Germany that they did not want to use domain users, so they use every single hotel had a separate local user, and so if you looked at their credentials in the preferences, they had like 30 different local administrators, and then in the label that listed the hotel, and it worked fine for them. But once again, you still have to have domain access on your server, so. Or I should say administrative access, pardon me.
All right. Next question, even more security type stuff, I guess. What best practices can be done to limit and secure the PDQ domain admin user needed to scan and deploy updates? How do you explain this user to cyber insurance underwriters? Josh C.
Anybody want to take a stab at this?
Well, I was thinking this when you were talking. It's just a separate account, right? So I think the mistake most people make, and having been through a virus attack, it's just not your domain account. You have a service account that could be a domain admin that is separate. I think that's the biggest issue.
So we're not putting the credentials out in clear text anyway. So if you have,
Right.
like if you're doing like a service account and you have a complex password, it's in there, but it's still secure. It's not like
Yes.
we're broadcasting the information.
Correct.
So I think as long as your password's complex enough, it's still plenty secure. As far as how you can talk to security, at that point, I think we have some documentation about the under the hood stuff on that.
A lot of it comes down to policy and procedure, but what I'd recommend, I like the idea of service accounts, and there's two types of service account. There's Microsoft's technical uppercase service account, and then there's just account. People will say this is an account, regular user account that's only used for this service.
Yes.
There is a difference. A very long, complex password. Store that password in an extremely secure area, limit who has access to it, and you're only going to have to enter it once until it changes again. And with that in mind, you should be fine, honestly. A lot of people, this is not the first time that a company has said, hey, people who do my security are asking, how is this secure? If the policies and procedures allow it, I would do that.
I think still the best case is if you were able to use LAPS.
If you're able, but let's assume that it's not the case, then make an extremely difficult, complex. Once again, it can be as complex as you want because you're not going to have to remember it, and hopefully you don't remember it because it's written in a password database somewhere, or it's just locked in a secure cabinet. I've seen that happen, and very few people should have it. I mean, few as possible.
And don't use it on a bunch of other things.
Correct.
Yes,
Keep it local.
exactly.
Correct.
Keep it separate. Yeah.
And don't do what Jordan does and show the password on the webcast.
A couple times. I did that.
Did we ever make that T-shirt with your password on there?
No, I still know the password if we want to.
Okay.
Is it a good one?
No.
Well, it was. It
still
came
works
from
here
a
somehow.
time when it was based on characters, letters, and not based on length. So it's not long enough to be secure anymore, but based on the criteria at the time,
Gotcha.
yes.
So it's
Yes,
not
it
like
was.
peanut butter sandwich or something.
Well, obviously it was peanut butter sandwich. I'm not.
That was the best.
No.
That's what came to my mind.
We could have one of Lex's passwords put on a T-shirt, but then HR would fire everybody.
Security through impurity.
That's exactly right.
Hunter too.
Maybe sell that one at Spencer's.
I think the first time I
I've
put my
seen
password
some of
in
his
chat-
passwords.
I've had to type some of
There's a
those.
therapist out there somewhere that's sorely needed. If there's any therapists in the Grand Junction, Colorado area, please reach out.
I just specify the first time I put my password in chat because that's the reality. But the first time I did it, I think it was like my second week working at PDQ, and I just blasted out my password.
Well, and it was great, the response. Someone typed in, "Is that your password?" Jordan's like, "It used to
I
be."
said it was an old password, which was 100% true. That was an old password by the time the question was asked.
Well, I'll tell you, I was. This is embarrassing. Those of you who remember Colby, Colby was when Colby did the webcast for years as the phone a friend, but. I was typing in my banking password and I didn't realize all I did was randomly send a Slack text to him with my password with immediate response of question mark. And I'm like, that was my former password. Sorry, Colbster.
Okay, big question coming up. Jaron might want to prepare for this one too. He's over in the phone a friend spot.
Yes.
Release date for PDQ Connect.
Well, see you later,
Anyone
everybody.
know? Good night, everybody. Sincerely, B.
Yeah, Shane, happy to have that one passed over to you. It sounds like you're pretty eager for it. But we did have a sync this week on Monday, and excuse my voice if it's a little raspy. PDQ week has been strong for me. We're expecting a Q1 release. So what that means is, since it's already January, we're expecting a March release. Now let me do a couple clarifying comments there too. So we have had a pretty large beta list of signups. We've had over 800 people sign up. We expect all of those to get an invitation to beta before that release. So currently on task to start pushing out more and more users to beta so we get feedback. If we were to receive feedback that paused us on the March launch, then we'll let you know here. But we do expect to go with March launch unless we get feedback from beta users that tell us
So we're going to
otherwise.
reach out and ask them to the PDQ prom, basically.
Yeah, we're filling their date card for sure.
Now, is there a site they can go to sign up?
Yeah, it's pdq.com/connect. I'll throw it in the chat as well.
PDQ, yeah, throw it in the chat, but I'm thinking that 79%, and I state that without any actual scientific data, surveys, knowledge whatsoever, 79% of our customers are going to be able to remember /connect.
Yeah, I actually, I think it is pdq.com/pdq-connect. So I misspoke.
You're throwing a hyphen in there? I got to modify that.
We're going to make sure
at
this.
64% now.
I'm out.
We're going to make sure /connect redirects to it though, just so I'm not wrong for any of the tape delayed viewers.
I'll be honest, I was hoping Jared would be like, what's Connect?
What's tape?
What's an agent?
It's been a long week.
We actually do record this to VCR.
I thought it was beta.
We sell the VHS later.
Did you
after
have that one chambered and just waiting to squeeze that in the conversation, Jake?
When there's this many people, I don't talk a whole lot. And so sometimes it just happens.
And for that, we're the poorer, because when you have something to say, it's usually pretty damn funny.
Thanks, Shane. Thanks. All right, next question.
Any updates on not sending blank reports? Will Connect support reports and not sending blank ones? Mikey B.
God, they're demanding, right?
Well,
What?
that's
You want stuff to work?
One of the longest requested things.
Yeah, I
that
know.
we want it as well. We're with you. We're with you on the not blank reports.
We commiserating right now.
Yeah, so is it the roadmap for the thing? Like, we still have a full team dedicated for deploying inventory, and they do have things that they have. I just don't know where that sits on the roadmap, or if I'm even allowed to, give a date on anything like that.
Can we, honestly, I know this has been popping up, and I haven't been around for a while, but I think that this is something that's worth to bring up to the team, just to say, hey, has there been any traction on this, or what concerns we have? But that seems to be a question that pops up every now and then. Sorry, that's a very unsatisfying answer.
It's one we know about and we want it. It's just the timeline. We don't have anything specific yet.
Okay, let's dive into kind of a feature request. We haven't had one of those in a little while. Could we potentially see a feature for PDQ Deploy to automate the download import of packages from GitHub? I used some scripts to automate this and would like a cleaner implementation. Sincerely, Joshua.
Interesting. Not yours, though, right?
So I've done something similar. It sounds like he already did what we did in the webcast, where I had a PowerShell script that would go out there and it'd download a newer version automatically. But that was completely PowerShell outside of the product that just plugged into the product.
Yeah.
Which it sounds like he's already done that part.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's plans to put it into the product.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Sounds
I don't think
sketchy.
so. It's
What do you
GitHub.
think?
It's kind of, I don't know if, it's an interesting idea, definitely, but
What if I wrote a script and put it in there? We don't want that to happen.
It's something you can set up as a pre-step.
yeah, you could create a package to perform what he's doing. He says he has some PowerShell scripts. You could create a package and set a schedule where it targets the PDQ server and kind of do your thing.
And even chain it. I think that's a good call. And then Joshua, just semantically, the answer is absolutely yes, because you used potentially. Potentially, I would fly to Mars next week.
Have fun.
Lose the potentially and just come right out and say, hey, is there a chance we can get this? Or even lose the chance. Hey, can we get this? Anyway, that being said, there is a way to do it, as you guys have mentioned, as Andrew. What's his name again? The one that's just brand new
That's
here?
Jordan.
I'm the face of the company.
King.
All right, I'll try to get that down. You're so forgettable.
So I would say if you have not added, you can go into the schedule that you built for the audit where you download yourself, and you can have it every time a new download does happen, it clears out the history. That way the schedule will work as it automatically as well. It'll add that component. And you can use that with the CLI that's built in with the product.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and check out our PowerShell scanners repository. We have some instructions on kind of getting PowerShell scanners from a GitHub repository, syncing them locally. Can have some commands you can run to kind of get started.
That's the fun thing about PowerShell Scanner, honestly, and just PowerShell itself, is when people say, can this be done?
Yeah.
It's usually, there might be a pretty big asterisk, but yes.
Yep.
Now let's start talking about making the PowerShell.
Yep.
Next question. Is there a report library or collection of top reports that admins use regularly? Dominic M.
We used to have a forum on our site that people could upload their it still might be there, but people were uploading their reports for a long time. I thought it was pretty cool. Is that still a thing?
Not that I know.
I think the historic posts are up, but I don't know if people are contributing a bunch of new scanners. But there's definitely some ones up there, I believe.
Yeah, contribute, helping out. Help out your fellow sysadmin. I think that's a good idea. We used to do it for years, and it was just obviously, I think probably Marcel was probably the main one that did it. But
Marcel, we need you.
kick that into gear, will you?
Yeah. We like automation. We don't like repeating ourselves. Let's get some collaboration, some sharing going on.
Thank you, Andrew.
And we have a question from Kevin B. In PDQ Inventory, AD OUs only show the objects within the actual OU, but not nested OU folders. Is there a way to deploy jobs to a specific higher level OUs, or do I need specific OUs? Kevin B.
Does anyone know off the top of their head? I mean, these are some good questions.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, I think you could build a collection that has the specific distinguished name to the sub-OU you're looking for,
Yes, you
and then
can.
just point to that collection. I can't think of a better way than that.
That's
but
what I would do. The answer is yes. It might not be as intuitive as you want, but since you're talking about a parent collection, when you, in the path, it's going to be there. So you're going to use the contains. Say, I want to know everything. Let's say it's in your workstations OU under marketing. You could just go to that. And maybe there's a some sub OUs like laptops or something like that. Yeah, you could just say if anything has marketing workstations contained in the path, in the LDAP path, then that would certainly satisfy it 100%. Am I wrong, Jordan?
No.
You got the blank stare of a dairy cow, so I wasn't sure.
That's just I've jumbled all of my IQ together, and I've got I'm trying to follow the conversation, and you lost me.
Oh, that's bull crap.
Shane, did you miss this?
You know more about this than I'll ever know.
Jordan came in with so much energy this morning. I feel it just kind of slowly
Come on,
dwindling.
Jordan.
draining.
Everyone that knows Shane knows that eventually he'll wear you down and destroy you down to contribute.
He'll get bored.
And it only means I love you. Honestly, it's true.
No, actually,
people
what-
used to ask if Lex and I hated each other, and we are friends. We've been friends since junior high, and So it's. I mean, I love this dude, and that's why I can make fun of him.
I don't cry till we're off camera. So
That's just a gentle ribbing.
Boy, does he
Right
cry.
now, I'm nice, but if I were, and I mean to you, that means we're buddies.
All right.
Basically,
I'll
what
have something
Jordan's
to look forward to.
Jordan is rolling over and exposing his belly to Shane in submission,
Temptation.
Quite the sight.
isn't it? Though?
Let's hit that next question.
Okay. In PDQ Inventory, oh wait, didn't we just do that one? Okay, hang on, let's move this one. There we go. Is there a way to pull all the current users logged on to servers using PDQ? All the users that we see in Task Manager Users tab from multiple servers. I'm not going to attempt that name just
This is on
because I don't want to offend
Side
anyone.
VJ.
You can read it.
Side VJ.
Wonderful
Side
person.
VJ.
So remember the customer panel talked about this.
So
They
I
wanted this.
think there's a PowerShell scanner already built up on our GitHub that will pull the last user that logged in, but it's the same log file you're looking for. So with some modification to that, it shouldn't be too difficult. Based on if they're actually logged in, if they're remotely logged in, locally logged in, there's a different number in the event. I got it.
Okay,
there.
so that we're not leaving this questioner with just out. Can you point to any or suggest anywhere they can go to find that, or can we make a to-do to have him contact support? We can send that to him.
I would normally be able to just give a quick answer as to how you query it, but this is
But you're a
pretty
little
strong.
sauced.
Yes. We can definitely help out if you send us a
It's
ticket.
morning time in Utah, baby.
Yes. But you can definitely query users and stuff like that. And, yeah, reach out
Okay,
to us
so
at support.
so Andrew, you think they should just go ahead and write into us?
I think so, unless Jordan can think of something.
Off the top of my head,
I don't want to say the wrong command coming to mind, but check the PowerShell Scanners repository and see if there's something there, and reach out to us.
There's a solid framework there for logged on users. It's just going to require modification to get all
Yeah.
currently logged on.
All right.
Next question by James M. Are there any plans to allow you to select multiple packages that require re-downloading? Currently, we randomly find the repository needs multiple packages re-downloaded, and it is a pain doing it one by one.
When you say re-downloaded, do you mean that there's a new version, or there was some corruption, or why are you re-downloading? I mean, if it's a new version, that's not a re-download; that's a new download. So I'm telling, if re is literal, then there's something happening to those. Are they getting corrupted?
Yeah, hover the little error thing and see what the error says, and that'll be a good starting point to see what's going on
He
with
followed
that.
up. He says it's due to corruption. That's
If
it's happening frequently, that feels like a
bigger
bug.
issue.
Is that a common thing?
I don't know. To me, it sounds like maybe he's dealing with a VM with some challenges. But
There's the answer to the other user.
thank you, query user. Yeah, my mind was going to net user, and I was like, I know that's not right.
Thank you, Joshua.
All right.
Oh, I
next
guess
question.
I should say that if you're not watching, whoever asked that question, query user /server.
Yeah.
And there's Marcel. With the answer to the other question.
Thank you, Marcel.
Hold control and click all the packages you want to update.
Yeah, control click to multi-select. It sounded like maybe the right click wasn't showing the re-download option, but yeah, control clicking to select multiple packages is great.
And our next question from Chad B. When will PDQ Inventory natively support scanning for universal apps and presenting results for device-like applications?
Universal apps.
I think it's like Apex packages, which install per user instead of globally.
Right.
That's where the complication comes in. Is we mostly, when we go with the scan, we go out and hit the global thing instead of the currently logged on user. Which you could build a quick PowerShell scanner. It's just git-apex package if that's what you're looking for, and you can pull that entire list for whoever's currently logged on. But it's just it's never going to be great.
I think with Apex packages, there's a way to like install them provisioned, so they install for all users, or install them per user.
So there's two. So the provision package is every time a new user logs in or that package updates, it's going to reinstall. So if you remove the provision package, it won't show back up in the future when someone else logs in. The other one, the Git Apex package, is for existing installs.
Gotcha.
But will it do it natively? Do you anticipate it ever?
Natively,
question.
That would be a
where
feature
it's per
request.
user, it's where it's the complication, because if no one's logged in, it's going to come up blank.
So do we think no? The answer is no.
No, I wouldn't say no, but it would be a feature request. The fact that when you can do it from PowerShell, even if it's a bit clunky, when you can do it from PowerShell, I would recommend doing that. Reach out to us if you need some help. We'll throw down. And by we, I mean somebody else.
So I put in the Git Apex package all users, which is kind of that's all users. So if it's found on any of them, it's going to report back as a positive. So you have a user logged on that doesn't have the app package, and it's still going to list as being there for them. So
it can be a little confusing.
Yeah, it's just the per user isn't my favorite way they went about that.
Yeah, not a fan of user context a lot of the time.
All right. Next one up. Do you have a recommendation on removing old devices for ones that get reassigned? Example, 0334 computer gets reassigned to 0334 laptop. Bill D.
I hate that kind of stuff. That would drive me insane. Seriously.
I can tell you just policy and procedure wise, in the past we've just had scripts that go out and clean out old objects. So you'd end up having a workstation and a laptop computer out there until that old one gets cleaned up. Just from like a remove stale records type thing. But otherwise, yeah, if you're going to change the name of a computer like that, or you retire it, don't delete the 80 object, bring a new one in, you're going to have to take care of that old object. You can still do that. You can still at least remove it from the equation by a lot of your collections by just saying don't show anything out there that's older than this date or that's been offline for however long. So you can at least remove it from there and then take care of it in maybe a monthly cleanup script. Anybody have anything to suggest?
I am shocked at how good you guys can come up with answers, just like right on the spot. I'm like so used to searching everything. Like,
Well, I actually have a question, Shane, now that you're here, because I've wondered this. So tell me, can I get rid of these now? Are you done crying?
Well, wait till you ask the question.
When the cameras go
here's
off.
one.
There we go.
Okay, ready? So I'm an AD clean fanatic.
Okay.
And I always have been my whole career.
All right.
So with our product, I always want to keep AD really clean, and this is my source. This is my, that's how I always live. But it seems like some people refer to PDQ inventory and keep this clean. Is that not best practice here?
We did not want to have a product that changed Active Directory. That was it. We effectively do a read. Could we have done it? Yes.
Okay.
We cognitively did not. We
Okay.
wanted to read Active Directory, but the source of truth for Active Directory needs to be handled by the Active Directory administrators. If we started to change that, then obviously you could really have something. I mean, we've heard horror stories of people accidentally rebooting all their computers from PDQ. What if they accidentally deleted a bunch of OUs or just a bunch of printer objects or something? So we read, we don't write. And unless something's changed since I've been gone, keep in mind, this is the equivalent. Having me on as the equivalent of somebody who's going to come in and start.
I think it's not as recommended.
And if
but
you
it
don't
does
want to
exist.
delete it, you can still disable it. And there's a feature in the import to say, do not import disabled objects. And then it's out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
Or put them, if you can't delete it because of your own procedures and policies, put it into an OU that you do not sync. And then based on your seek preferences, that'll get removed.
See, that's just so backward for me because that would be my source of truth. Like, if I delete it, I'm an idiot,
Gotcha.
and I would own my mistake. I mean, is that wrong? I mean, that's just how I am.
We've considered when it comes to Active Directory is the one we will import or not import, but we don't write. So
Okay.
that was a decision we made.
No, I get it.
I just want to follow up on something Dominic said. He followed up on where I said all users grabs just whether installed or not. He said if you do the get AppX package for all users, it will specify which users have
Good.
it, which I did not know. That's actually
Make sure you show that column if it's a separate column.
I think the stream just crashed.
No,
They said it came back.
it came
It
back.
didn't.
Okay.
It must be local on their end. But we have one final question before we have to go to our big final meeting for PDQ week. So here we go. Is there a way to use PowerShell to force an inventory AD sync from a remote computer, i.e. new PCs get joined from domain and will kick off an AD scan? Mike P.
So AD sync, right? I think there's a command that you can use to manually run an AD sync if you want to, but just based on your AD sync cycle, right? If you run it a couple times a day, once a day, it should see new things.
I see that as over. Honestly, the AD sync, we've got that down that it's not a very expensive process. Just run it a little bit more aggressively, and you should be fine. Don't run it every 5 minutes, but just run it. I think you'll get there.
And if you have a situation where you're like, oh, we really need to rush this out, you can go ahead and run the manual command. You can open up the options and click sync now and get it going for you.
There's that, and then I just pulled up the CLI. So if you wanted to do it with the command line, you could run it against the machine that hosts your PDQ, and then just run it to force the sync. That way you can do it.
I love the command line.
Yeah.
So many cool options there.
A sysadmin has never uttered that before. I love the command line.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry that we have to cut this one short, folks.
All right, but thanks everyone for joining. It's awesome to. I talk to Andrew every week, and I get to sit next to him, and I guess it's okay that Shane's here.
Cheers.
Whatever.
Opinions are mixed. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, it was a compliment at first, and now I'm like in on a diss. So
Well, you should be. He's been begging for it. But thanks for tuning in. I hope we got some of your questions answered. If one of them we said contact support, please do, because we love to get the follow up so we can give more information on future podcasts or webcasts.
Okay.
For PDQ, I'm Jordan.
I'm Tara.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Kevin B. and Joshua S., winners of PDQ swag. Send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. Thanks again, and we will see you back here next week.